Hey guys, welcome back to Explore Park City Living. John Brown here, associate broker with Keller Williams. We're talking about the billionaire trying to buy Park City Mountain Resort. I'm going to tell you exactly why it probably won't happen and why there's a small chance it actually could. So Matthew Prince is the CEO of Cloudflare, and that is a $30 billion tech company. He grew up in Park City, worked as a ski instructor here in the 90s, and has been publicly pressuring Vail Resorts to sell him Park City Mountain for over a year now. His latest pitch, $500 million in investment, new lifts, expanded snowmaking, employee profit sharing, and partial community ownership of the resort. It sounds compelling for sure, but there's a fundamental financial problem with this and why it probably won't happen. I was recently in a private presentation with a managing director from Bank of America Securities. He was someone who has covered Vail Resorts as a stock analyst for 18 years. And he made one thing very clear: you cannot pull Park City out of the Vail Resorts portfolio as a standalone sale. His word, the only way to get Park City out of Vail is to buy Vail. Park City isn't just a resort in the portfolio, it's one of the crown jewels of assets that make the epic task worth buying in the first place. Removing it, and you don't just lose one mountain, you start unraveling the entire pass network that 75% of Vail skiers visits run through that pass network. Vail's market cap right now is around 7 to 8 billion. So what looks like a resort acquisition is actually a multi-billion dollar corporate takeover, completely different conversation. And I think that is the only thing on the table. I don't know if he knows it, if that's his plan, but here's where it gets interesting. Vail's stock is down over 60% from its peak in 2021. They've missed their own earnings forecast 3 years in a row. Visitation at Park City specifically is down double digits this year, and that's on an already depressed base from last year's ski patrol strike. Activists, investors are now circling the company like vultures, so you'd think a struggling company would be open to selling assets, but actually it works the opposite way. Vail pays one of the highest dividend yields in the consumer sector at over 6%. That is huge. If they sell Park City, they lose the cash flow that funds that dividend, and they can't sell their way to financial health in that situation. It makes the problem worse, not better. It's not covering debt, it's that cash flow they need from Park City. The largest shareholder, Ron Barron, holding close to 10% of the company, reportedly told Prince to go to hell. And Barron's cost basis in the stock is basically zero, meaning he's sitting on a massive gains and has every reason to hold the position. If he sold, he would have major tax implications, and not to mention the fact that he probably doesn't want to sell because this is probably his baby. But if he did have a massive tax implication, well, he could buy a massive mansion here and write it off against that income. Obviously, he would have to talk to his tax professional and qualify as a real estate professional to do that. Then he could come to me and I could pick out a great house for him so he could pay little to zero taxes. But anyways, I had to throw that pitch in there. But there is a world where this actually happens, but it's not the deal Prince is publicly pitching. The realistic path, in my opinion, is someone buying all of Vail, stripping out Park City, and selling the remaining resorts to finance the deal. That's a leveraged buyout structure. It happens on Wall Street regularly. Actually, I think it was back in 2008 where hostile takeovers and activists really got weeded out by regulation, but I can't remember exactly what that was. But you don't see it as much, like buying up shares on the open market and trying to control the company and then take it private. But that being said, activists are building pressure. It's not impossible, but Prince saying it is inevitable. That seems like a negotiation position, not a financial analyst. My take, maybe 10 to 15% probability in the next 5 years, higher over 25 years, but not because of Prince's public campaign, only if shareholder pressure forces a full strategic restructuring of the company. Who knows? I just was in one Vail Resorts meeting, so I'm not an analyst. Obviously, I'm a realtor and I'm in real estate. But here's what I think this means for Park City real estate and why I think it's actually a win-win regardless of how it plays out. If Vail stays, you keep one of the biggest marketing budgets in the ski industry promoting Park City to feeder markets that they own and all across the country and the world through the Epic Pass. Millions of people hear about this mountain every year because of that infrastructure, that marketing dollar, that drives demand, rental, occupancy, and it supports property value. If a local ownership happens, you probably lose some of that marketing reach, at least initially, but what you could gain a better mountain experience, a healthier local workforce, and a resort identity that's genuinely tied to the ground here. The analyst I mentioned made an interesting point. An ultra high-end buyer increasingly craves authenticity over scale. Aspen has it, Jackson has it, Vail, the brand, lost some of that. Park City under local ownership could reclaim some of that positioning better and like have better experience. Means people come back, you retain the visitors you earn rather than the ones you bought through marketing and then you market to new people every year, right? That's a revolving door there. So you kind of have loyal customers versus revolving door, but you have to spend to get that. And that retention at the premium end of the market is worth something to real property values here. From a real estate investment standpoint, volume and marketing reach on one side, premium experience and stronger identity on the other, both support values in this market. Personally, I think it would be pretty cool to see what this mountain could look like. Somebody that actually grew up skiing here calling the shots, but that's a separate form of investment case, and the investment case is solid either way. So if you want to know what's actually happening in Park City real estate beyond the headlines, subscribe to the channel. I'll be tracking it. Yeah, hit me up if you are looking to buy or sell or invest in Park City. I'd love to help you out. I help people from the channel a lot, so I love getting calls from you guys. So if there's an update, I'll let you know on this, and see you on the next one. Hopefully I gave you some value.